No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Welcome to the Perfect Parlay Pursuit. It is I, your host, Lukey CK, joined by the Euro Wonder King, my brother, Alex. Danny, the Bet Man, will be here shortly. And as you can see, I have a lot of dead soldiers to bury. There's going to be a national holiday for the tragedy that was last Saturday night for me. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about UFC 303. We're going to tell you how I went from $2,400, the front runner, the leader of the pack, to just under $400. How did I lose $2,000 in a night? And then we're going to talk about how Alex brought himself back from last place and is now in the money, in the positive, in the plus, and is our leader, our front runner now. So Dan, he'll be here shortly to fill in the blanks. He's in second place now. Alex, welcome to the show. Good to have you. You're our big winner of the evening.
Easy money. I mean, how many times are you going to give me the same fight that I, made the most money on in my career? I hope I wish Yuri and Alex could fight every single weekend because I would. I was
actually going to say that to you. I was going to say I anticipated you'd kind of come in a little bit hotter, talking shit on me. And I had this loaded in my head where I was going to say, I'm not as mad as I thought I would be, but how I was going to deliver it. If I were mad, I was going to be like, well, what are you going to do next weekend when Alex Pereira doesn't fight? Because that's the only fighter that you can win any money on. That's the only guy you ever win money on. You're a piece of shit. I don't even respect you. But you're being nice. So I pretend.
I wish Alex Pereira would fight every weekend because he's the only guy I had a read on. And honestly, I didn't even have that good of a read on him this card. I told you guys on last pod, I thought it was going to be harder than the first fight. Boy, was I wrong. It was way, way, way easier. Alex Pereira is an absolute legend. He is one of the greatest of all time. I hope he gets to go up to heavyweight and fight John Jones and settle it once and for all. They're both about the same age, right?
I mean, I don't want my boy John Jones getting in there with anybody doing any kind of magic. Listen, I thought
Dan, how's your money going up every time you come back?
What are you talking about?
Your money's going up every time you come back here.
It was at $8.42. I made $60. That's at $9.02. Sure,
Okay.
You could do that math, Einstein.
So for those of you who maybe haven't seen the show before, this is year 5, season 5 of the Perfect Parlay Pursuit, the show where we pursue the perfect parlay every single week. So obviously this show began with us attempting to hit the perfect parlay. We've all hit the perfect parlay. Now in year 5, we have a new competition where we each started the year in May 9th. We started year 5. That's when our season began. And starting on May 9th, we all put $1,000 into our accounts. Now, since then, I've taken my 1,000 up to 2,200, back down under 1,000, up to 3,900. And now you see this is where I'm at. I'm at 391. So I essentially lost. I have 10% of my max all-time high this season currently. A lot of drama, guys. There's lots of drama going on right now. Dan humming along there. Just 10% of his initial deposit is lost. But obviously, pursuing a different kind of playing style. Alex, his boy Alex Pereira brought him back.
The freaking hat to me, dude. I went from 500 to 1,300 in the swing of a night, just like that. I went from worst to first. Worst to first. Now I'm in first place.
Congratulations!
That's crazy. Not everybody can do that. Maybe you can. Now that I've given you the blueprint, next time Alex Pereira fights, because he's going to this year. I just don't know how many times you have to see your boy Yuri get knocked out by Alex Pereira until you start betting on him. Like, when are you going to start giving my guy Alex Pereira respect? That's my main question.
Well, we can start there. So when it comes to the main event, here's my thing. As they're walking to the cage, I was pretty sure every bet I had on Yuri was going to lose. I don't know why I forced myself to do this. Bottom line is, the fight's about to begin, and I'm like, every bet I have with Yuri is going to lose. I don't know. But I was trying to convince myself that I was wrong about that. And I was like, just stay. This is going to be a crazy fight. What I kept telling myself was Yuri fought, at UFC 300. So did Alex, but he didn't have a broken foot and probably was training hard after that. And it's, in my opinion, I was like, it's hard to, it's in a fight like that where both guys have this wild, crazy power. It's almost kind of hard to like replicate that sort of thing, right? So, but then, you know, when the fight's about to begin, I see this stat that 70% of the time that you rematch a championship fight, the fighter who won the first time wins 70% of the time. And that's really when I knew. I was like, is this really going to be one of the 30%? Like, come on. This weekend's on me. It's on me. I was stubborn. I was stupid. And I walked right in front of shamanic magic. And now I'm going through the fifth bardo. Now I'm descending into the, you know, fractal hell realm. I got to build back.
But we all fell victim to the biggest fool's mistake, and that was betting on MVP. We talked about it numerous times before the card that MVP was going to get out wrestled by Ian Gary, and Ian Gary was going to come on the mic and be like, I am a martial artist. I am well-rounded. This is not karate. It's mixed martial arts. And, you know, that's pretty much what he did. He ran away. He's been talking about how he's the new generation of striker in the UFC. He can't even beat the old generation of striker from Bellator.
It's fundamental traditional striking that we have to offer, like point karate. You know, it's like shit that 2, 3, 4-year-olds are doing and have been since the 80s, right? I mean, it's like not anything new, Michael Vitamini. And yeah, it's like Ian Gary for talking all about how Michael's old and he's faster. He was not faster. Joe Rogan and DC both said that. His striking was not better. He was eating shots all day on the feet. He lost every single second of every single round on the feet. And the only hope that he had in the first round, taking his back, and then in that third round, reversing the position and taking his back. But Ian won the fight with grappling. Now, I personally did see this coming. What stood out in my mind was that MVP got taken down by Paul Daly. Say no more. I remembered that. And that caused me to actually rush to see what Ian Gary by submission was. And it was 10-1, guys. So I did throw $100 on Ian Gary to win by submission as sort of like a hedge play. And just like when Joe Selecki had Garrett Dawson, what's his name? Grant Dawson. When he had Grant Dawson in that choke and almost finished it. And I had Joe by submission. I think I had Joe by submission, I think. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, let's go. Joe's about to win. And then he didn't. Same exact moment with Ian Gary and MVP. The biggest adrenaline dump ever, where I'm just like at first I'm like upset that Ian Gary has his back, but then he sinks the choke under and I go, well, go Ian, let's go Ian. You know, I wanted to take my 1,000. At that point, I would have been pretty much at like break even. I could have then threw some money on Lopez, Doleteze. Could have had a lot of options there. But ultimately, I think I still would have sowed my own poison. I did win a bet. I had a parlay with it was 290 for 1,066. So it was Joe Pyfer, Roman Doledeze, Lopez, all money line. Lopez, that one got pulled off. So it went from being 290 for 1,000 to 290 for 650. So I turned my 290 into 650. That was the same 290 I won the previous weekend betting 100 as a hedge on Volkov at plus 190. Won 290, kept it in my account, put it on these three. So essentially I would have turned 100 into 1,000 in just 4 bets. It would have been, you know, Volkov, Pyfer, Doledeze, Lopez. But the Lopez one got interrupted, and I put my 650 on Lopez, my 650 in winnings. I put it on Lopez by finish. Lost all the winnings on that, and not as mad at Lopez as I am at Doledeze. Roman Doledeze, you can go fuck yourself. Anthony Smith, you've already been the biggest coward pussy that any of us could ever imagine still being in the UFC. But let's all take a moment to really analyze Anthony Smith. Is there anybody who sits in the corner way more than, forget Ian Gary sitting in the corner. Anthony Smith literally, not figuratively, literally sits his butt in that corner against Glover Teixeira, against John Jones, against Roman Doledeze. Every single time Anthony Smith gets in there, he walks his ass to the cage, plops his butt down in the corner. And Anthony, don't get mad at me, because Daniel Cormier agrees with me. Joe Rogan agrees with me. They all agree with me. Daniel Cormier was like, where's the sense of urgency? Why isn't he getting up? Anthony Smith has 50 fights. He's sitting on his ass. He's doing nothing. He's not trying. He's complacent. You know, and they said, well, maybe he's taking a rest. Daniel said he's been doing that for 2 minutes. That time is over. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why Jones need him in the head. And I love that Roman need him in the head. I wish it was harder and more illegal, but it was legal. And no, he need him in the head. And that's what you get, Anthony Smith. That's what you fucking get. If this were the streets, they'd be elbowing you in your spine. They'd be elbowing you in the brainstem. They'd be making soup on you. You game the rules and put yourself in situations where they can't do offense. Who wins there? The crowd? Is that lion-hearted? Is that very lion-hearted? No, it's not. Let's make the title of this video Anthony Smith sucks, since he saw the video that we made, before when we said Anthony Smith sucks. Maybe you'll see this one, because I really want him to see this one. Anthony Smith, you're the ugliest player in the UFC. You are the fighter who gets the most with the least, right? You have been given wins against Rashad Evans, wins against Shogun Rua, when they were so fucking old that they shouldn't have even been in there with you. Every good win you've ever had is against an opponent who shouldn't have been in there and were too old and past their prime. Maybe you didn't realize it, but everybody else realized what they were doing for you, and they just wanted to give you a little bump, give you a little push to, when they put him on the commentary desk. He's so ugly. He should not be on TV. He's got a face for radio. And yet, instead of, they put him on the Michael Bisping podcast. It's pretty bad when you look uglier than Bisping. You know what I mean? It's pretty bad when he looks uglier than Harrington. He's uglier than Harrington. Anthony Smith looks like he should be in the Azov battalion in the Ukraine. He has so many tattoos. The dream catcher is that of a waitress who works at Applebee's and also is a nurse and drives a Honda Civic and wears Uggs. I don't know what else to say. I hate Anthony Smith, but Roman Dolidze, now I hate you because you wanted to be in there and be a little friend with him. Guess what, guys? If everyone's going to be friends in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, you're not allowed to train with each other anymore. You're not allowed, Eric Nixick, to have more than one person in your gym. You have to kick everybody out, Eric Nixick. Everybody used to be gone. You're not allowed to have this many people because now everyone's like, oh, he's my friend. He does the commentary job. Maybe he can get me a commentary job. Maybe he can get me a this or that. It is about fighting. It is not about friendship. It is not about fatherhood. It is not... Guys, there's so much to talk about. I mean, I'm losing my sport. I'm losing my thing.
Well, those were the losing parlays of the night. If you tailed
I had
any...
really told Dese by finish. He was goofing around and laughing, and that was point shaving. It should be under investigation. I have half a mind with all of the inner gym collusion that goes on between Anthony and Roman and Eric Nixick and Mr. Montoya and all these people, all these little boys club of chitter chatter DMers. I'll bet this is in my wildest fantasy, in my wildest imagination. I bet
the over.
I bet you that to get the fight with Anthony Smith on short notice, to even get the fight, I'll bet there was a little DM exchange or a little, I'll tell this guy so he can tell that guy and he can tell you type of thing where it's like, hey, look, I'll take the fight, Roman. I'll accept the fight. You'll be getting the big payday. It's short notice. You'll be getting a big opportunity, but no knockout clause, right? Like in the fight between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor, for Dustin Poirier to get the rematch with McGregor, he had to knock him out. If he knocked McGregor out, he would be given a rematch. Otherwise, no rematch. So, and he got no pay-per-view points in that first one. So that worked in our favor because it was a motivation to knock him out, right? But when you have guys who they talked about this on the broadcast. DC brought this up on the broadcast. He said, when you have guys who take a short notice fight and get extra money for doing so and are kind of put in a situation where it's a no-lose scenario for them because, oh, you're doing the UFC a favor, Danny Ige, you're so tough. Oh, I'm Robbie Fox. There are guys who talk about it, and then there are guys who be about it. Robbie Fox, you're a fucking nerd. You started watching the sport fucking 3 years ago, dude. You're a post-pandemic fucking noob, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. Danny Ige lives in Vegas and already had his medical paperwork filled out. That is it. That's the only fucking thing that allowed him to be in that cage. Nothing to do with desire, nothing to do with thinking he can win. All it had to do with was that he was available and ready to do it. Anybody would have done it in the same situation. Most guys don't have their medical papers cleared. Most guys don't have manager to the stars Ali Abdelaziz as their friend. Most guys aren't in Vegas, aren't in proximity to the place where they need to be, right? It's not so much that there's other guys who wouldn't have done it. It's that there was criteria they didn't meet. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he gets credit for stepping in on 165 is like, oh, I thought you were... Guys, Diego Lopez got bullied by Hollywood. Diego Lopez, not famous, not a star yet, gets an opportunity against Brian Ortega, says yes. Brian Ortega does the same Kelvin Gastelum, Ali Abdelaziz, I'm famous more than you bullshit that Kelvin did to Rodriguez. Brian Ortega did the same thing to Lopez, right? And then the gods punished Brian Ortega because he probably did. If you saw Brian Ortega, that motherfucker didn't want to fight anyway. He didn't want to be there anyway. He got pressured from this by Hunter Campbell from the start. He's too stupid to know how to say no. So he didn't want to be there anyway. And he's like, oh, I would have fought, but I would have thrown up all over the cage. A fever, dude. A fever. Oh, my head's a little hot. I can't fight. Who gives a fuck? Once the adrenaline kicks in, you're going to be fine. Wim Hof used adrenaline to fight off an E. coli infection in his body in like 10 minutes. Do the Wim Hof method, idiot. I hate these guys. I hate Brian Ortega. I hate Roman Dolideze. That fight should be investigated. If Roman Dolideze, okay, so over-unders in basketball, point shaving. Over-unders in fighting, point shaving. If you are not fighting, you sign an agreement that you will fight to the best of your ability when you're in there. The best of your ability. If you don't do that, if you're smiling, if you're dancing around, high-fiving, no. Cut from the UFC entirely and brought up on charges and investigated in a federal court of law.
Yeah, so the winning parlay for me was Roman Dolidze, Diego Lopez, and Alex Pereira. I actually had to put this bet in twice because of the whole, mishap where 4 hours notice Dan Ige had to fill in for Brian Ortega. So at first I bet $125 on this Alex Pereira, Diego Lopez, and Roman Dolidze. But this was Diego Lopez against Brian Ortega, so the Diego Lopez line was a lot better at that time. Really stunk to not have that happen. But it was $125 to pay $350 after the Diego Lopez fight was voided. And then I put the same bet in again after Diego Lopez was switched. His opponent was switched to Dan Ige, $250 to win $964. So do the math on what I put in that night. I did go balls to the wall. I had $560 and I bet $500 and put myself into a pretty big scenario there. Alex Pereira was the last guy left, and there's not a guy in the world that I'm more confident in than him. I mean, he's done so much for me. I don't know if I would take him against Tom Aspinall, but I definitely want to see him go up to heavyweight and try to get a belt. I would love to see him fight John Jones. I feel like John Jones probably wins that fight pretty easily, though.
He's got to fight Magomed Ankalaev. That's the fight. Let's not.
Why? Why do we reward Magomed Ankalaev for nothing? What does he do?
He's the #1 contender. He should get the fight. It's
Why
the
is he the
ultimate
#1
fighting
contender?
championship. You should defend the belt. Stop running away to different weight classes. Try and make more money, become more famous, and please the witch doctors that he's working with. We are going to go with the Magomed Ankalaev fight.
Who's Magomed Ankalaev? Who's Magomed Ankalaev beaten? Who's his last?
I'm not going to go through the list.
Johnny Walker most recently.
Oh, and Johnny Walker. How good did he do in his last fight? So Johnny Walker, great win.
Listen,
That
he's
should get
won
you a title
every single
shot.
fight he's been in except for one where he lost on a fluke.
He
at the
can
very
fight
last
Jan
second.
Blachowicz again. No, he can fight Jan Blachowicz again. Winner gets the title shot. Fine. Okay. There you go. Figured it out for you because he couldn't even beat Jan Blachowicz. So how about you get through Jan Blachowicz first?
Listen, Ankalaev is an absolute crybaby bitch. He's a crybaby
I know.
bitch.
He shouldn't get shit. He shouldn't get shit. And he wants Alex Pereira to come over to Abu Dhabi to fight him. And why? Alex Pereira's the champ. How about you go over to Brazil and get some of that Aldo dust sprinkled on you instead of getting favorable matchups every single time in favorable locations like every other fucking person from your region. Jesus.
Bro, I'm done with Brazil and I'm done with Riyadh and Saudi Arabia. I mean, both of them have the worst fans you could possibly imagine. Non-clapping, leaving early, not supporting their own hometown guys, fans. I mean, every fight should be in Manchester, London, England, or the U.S., Vegas. Or not even really Vegas. I mean, I like going to all these other places a lot.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's the shit. The South is the shit. You know, I want to see people in the seats from the get-go. Like, I don't want to see in Vegas. You know, you don't get anybody in there until the main event. So, I want to see people in the seats from the get-go. I love those London crowds. Here's what I'll say. Starting off the night, I personally I picked Simon on the show. I saw Oliveira as the more physical, like a guy with more aura, more physical.
That was my best pick of the night, Oliveira, and I really didn't have him in enough parlays. Like, that was such a great pick. I knew exactly how that was going to go. I knew he was going to be a little bit more stingy than Ricky Simon, and I love that pick. I'm disappointed with the fight after that, though. That was I felt like that was closer than the judges' scorecard said.
I didn't. I thought Ray Soria beat the fuck out of Hernandez. I didn't think that was a close fight. But here's what I'll say. Martin Boudet should be cut. Martin Boudet is again, should be brought up on investigation. I think this is another situation where Andre Arlovski is like, DMing these guys and saying like, let's just keep it to a close decision and you can get this fight. Because Andre Arlovski name value, giving opportunities to guys with no name value, you got to think there's some kind of negotiation going on behind the scenes where they're like saying like, hey, just don't knock me out. Because I swear to God, I feel like I could have knocked Andre Arlovski out. Like no fear whatsoever. I would go in there with a 50-year-old man and I would fucking jump into the air. I don't care if I have to jump to reach that chin. I'll jump in the fucking air and I will knock Andre's ass out. I really think I would. For the right price, with the right aura, the right crowd behind me, I'm putting on a better effort than a Martin Boudet. I'll tell you that much. Put on a way better effort than Martin Boudet. You can't tell me any otherwise. You can't tell me I wouldn't knock out Andre Arlovski, and you can't tell me I wouldn't knock out Martin Boudet too. I mean, I'm not afraid of either of them. There should not be anybody in the UFC that I'm not afraid of.
At the heavyweight division of all divisions.
I'm telling you, Dan, I'd rather fight a lot of these heavyweights than these faster guys. To be honest, the heavyweights have less skill and are slower. The lighter weights still possess the speed and accuracy to knock me out. The heavy, just as bad as a heavyweight. It's not, it's not like the heavyweight hits me. Okay, cool. I got hit by a heavyweight. If I got hit by a 145, if I got hit by fucking Diego Lopez, he'd knock me out. So I'd rather fight Boudet and Arlovski than Diego Lopez. 100%.
Logic checks out to me.
Chase Hooper knocks you out. What are you talking about?
I'd rather fight Boudet than Chase Hooper.
Chase Hooper's a tough night at the office now for you. But back in the day, when you were first calling out Chase Hooper, I think you might have been able to get him. But now,
when Steve Garcia had him, I could have had him. But all he does is fight. I mean, it's like if he did half the shit I do, and then also had to go train, he would be as good as I am. You know what I mean? But he's like a little spoon-fed baby. He gets all of his time is spent training how to fight. He doesn't really offer anything else to the world. It's like I'm out here with a full-time job, 2 kids, and fucking spousal support and all this shit I got to do. Like I'm out here doing a podcast. I got jobs. I go. Me going to train. It's like it's amazing. I'm as good as I am with all that's batting against me. Student loans. So, point is, Boudet should be cut and investigated. I really think that he was purposefully shaving points and trying not to knock.
I think Roman Dolidze
all he ever does,
fine.
Though. He never knocks anybody out.
I disagree. I disagree with you. I think both of those guys did fine. I think that Roman Dolidze did phenomenal. Taking the fight on such short notice, going out there, beating the shit out of Anthony Smith. And hey, I actually think that performance by Anthony Smith,
finish in the second round. I'll say that he did try
that. Exactly. It was a great fight. Anthony Smith deserves the Alex Pereira fight now. Can we all just agree on that?
I want him to fight Alex Pereira. I really do. I really want him to fight Alex Pereira.
I think that there's a lot. I think that I see after seeing Anthony Smith fight Roman Dolidze, I can now visualize how Anthony Smith beats Alex Pereira actually. And it's funny because sometimes a loss is more than a win. And in that loss, I saw the holes where, that might not be a hole of Roman Dolidze's, but that is a hole of Alex Pereira. Did you see when Anthony Smith was sitting there and flicking that knee up, leg kick? Dude, Alex Pereira is cooked against Anthony Smith. And I endorse Anthony Smith to be the next title shot. Fuck Magomed Ankalaev. Anthony Smith deserves it more than anyone.
Anthony Smith, you have 20 losses on your record. That means in real life situations, you could have had 20 families and they all would have been destroyed by 20 different people who decided to, right? So there's that. And then there's also, you only have 7. I
mean, Luke, when somebody did attack his family, he went to a no contest. He didn't even win that one. He's 0-1 when it comes to defending home.
Yeah, that's terrible. Anthony, we all hate you. Personality, right? Fighting style and ability and effort, right? So every metric, the effort you put in is bad. We don't respect it. The style in which you fight, you have soft pillow hands and you don't knock anybody out unless they're octogenarians like Shogun and Rashad Evans. Your jiu-jitsu isn't good enough to beat anybody who is good at jiu-jitsu. And like I said, so there's no effort, not a good style, ugly, bad pandering personality, always trying to win over the soft journalists who will like cheer him on, you know what I mean? Bitch shit, right? So Anthony, I want to make this perfectly clear. We the three of us, maybe not Dan, but me and Alex, hate you so much that
No, I love Anthony Smith.
Okay,
I love it.
I hate Anthony Smith so much that I want him to get a title shot against Alex Pereira. Think about that. That's a mindfuck, Anthony. You're doing what I want if you get what you say you want. You're falling into my trap. How is it that I know how to torment you in a way that you're willing to accept? Think about that. That's crazy. I'm so far ahead of you, you know? So we hate Anthony Smith. We always have, always will. And hey, he told me in the DMs, you're not allowed to bet on me ever again. No problem. Never have, never will. Never. Except that one time we did bet on him and Triple B certified him, and that was the stupidest. I wish I could go back in time. If I had a time machine, I'd go back in time and just punch myself in the face during that episode where he
going against Glover. Oh
no, we went against fucking Alexander Rakic.
I think both we Triple P certified.
No. I remember that.
Glover against it. I'll go back and look.
The Glover fight was before the Rakic fight, I think.
Dan Ige is Hawaiian.
Yes.
Dan Ige is hard to knock out. And Dan Ige is like a manager / fighter who lives in Vegas. Like, Robbie Fox, shut up.
Dan Ige's good, man. Dan Ige's really good.
It's like, oh my God. Like, everybody should be willing to fight on 1 day's notice. Everybody should be willing to fight on 1 second's notice. When we went to the bachelor party last weekend and that one punk said, I could beat you in wrestling, what did I say? Right here, right now. Right here, right now. Let's go. And what happened? 20 seconds later, he was spitting up sand and I was having a beer. That's what happened. So you pulled me off my bar stool, you pinched my girl in the butt, we're fighting. Doesn't matter if you're Andre Arlovsky or Chase Hooper. You ain't on Tubi or Hulu.
And by the way, Diego Lopez, he's the one who should really get the credit there. I mean, he had to cut the weight down to 45 and then put it back on, have the last minute opponent change within during the fight card, I guess, like the very beginning of it.
He got casting couched by Hollywood. Holly Weird is casting couching fighters now. They casting couched Diego Lopez. They said, hey, Diego.
Do you want to go to the Sphere? Do you want to go to the Sphere, Diego?
Sphere, Diego. Oh, yeah, we're going to get you in the Sphere. But first, I'm just going to need to see a little skin. Just need to make sure you don't have any blemishes or tattoos under your clothes. You know, like they're Hollywood in them. And it's fucked up. It's fucked up that they do that. This is supposed to be the Ultimate Fighting Championship, not the ultimate feel bad for aging fighters who are too rich and famous to get their ass to the gym, and now we give them every opportunity to win and they still blow it. You know what I mean? And not only to win, but to be exciting and they still blow it. It's like, yeah, Brian Ortega, fraud, crumb bum, clown, missed weight. Him and Kelvin eat too many tacos. Him and Kelvin eat too many tacos and too many taquitos and too many burritos. They're like Cartman's hand, Jennifer Lopez. I love tacos. I love burritos. So,
and until they can make weight, you're allowed to say that.
And, you know, like I said, Yuri, me and Alex were at a barbecue on Sunday, and I'm like, Yuri's like, his strategy is like to move his head in this way and like smash it into your limbs. You know what I mean? Like, he just like, it's almost silly.
He's a draft. That's a draft technique. That's how they fight. They throw their head at you.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, man. Yuri, it's almost arrogant to think that you can not do fun. Like, you want to say to Yuri, you want to be like, Yuri, you're willing to do so much to prepare yourself for these bouts. Why not practice fundamental striking and defense that is taught and has been taught traditionally for millennia? You know, he's such a traditionalist. He wants to go back to the samurai. Why don't you just go back to like the 50s where they were teaching to keep your hand up here and you know what I mean? It's like you have all this respect for history and discipline, but yet you aren't that. It's almost like get out of the shed and train. Fighting. Not punching trees, punching more things that you're going to be expected to punch. You're not going to have to punch any trees in the octagon. You're going to have to punch soft flesh. Don't worry about punching the trees. You're not going to have to sit in the darkness with no food or water in the octagon. Don't worry about doing that. I used to respect it. Now I'm out. I was saying before this, I was like, I need to do that. I need to lock myself in a room for 3 days. I need to do that. I can do it. I fasted for 7 days. I could fast for 3 days in a dark room. No problem.
If you were 3 days in a dark room, you'd end up with the same fate as Heath Ledger when you were done. Okay.
I don't know. What would happen is I would fidget. I would fidget a lot. It would be almost impossible to meditate. I would be like laying down, and then I'd be like I would just be trying to sleep for 3 days. You know what I mean? Meditation, not really my thing. But so yeah, my point is, Yuri, just fucking watch YouTube videos on how to fight MMA. Like, why doesn't Yuri go train with Alex Pereira? Like, you should go train with Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is teaching other guys how to do what he does at Glover's gym. You see it on the internet every day. And those, like, what he does, he taught Sean Strickland, and then he went and beat Izzy. It's like, but the main thing I'll say about that fight,
and that's because Yuri thinks that he has to sign his name in blood on the lease paper or on the waiver to make sure he doesn't get hurt. That's how you get so good as Alex Pereira. You have to sign your name in blood on the document with a devil, which Alex Pereira is doing with his shaman, of course. And everybody who goes to his gym signs their soul away, Luke. Dude,
his eyes went black. Just to let you guys know, when they were doing that face-off, his whole eye was just black.
I gotta check that out.
It was crazy. This is crazy. But one last thing I'll say about that, and it is that what kept sticking in my mind was that little skinny noodle arm, high titty Izzy knocked out Pereira cold. That is what kept sticking in my mind. I said, Luke, Yuri is such an alpha Chad. If Yuri fought Izzy, he would fucking bludgeon him. Worse than Sean Strickland. If Izzy fought, like, or if Yuri fought these guys that have beaten Pereira, he would kill them. So that's kind of what got me. You know, I was like, but now I'm not even so sure. Now, all I keep thinking, now that everybody is turning on Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya is, you know, Dan has always hated him. I've loved him. And then I've kind of, you know, started to get a little bit, you find him insufferable, you know, and then, so but I'd say I'm like neutral with Izzy right now, you know. But when
because he hasn't been in the line, he hasn't said anything. That's why you're neutral with him.
Yeah, Izzy is very, very special. I think. I mean, the more that I reflect on like, as much as they want to say Alex Pereira is special, Izzy knocked him out in the last fight. You know what I mean? Like, no one else has been able to do that shit.
I mean, a blind squirrel will find his nut every once in a while. These guys have fought 100 times.
Even the fact that Izzy was willing to fight him so often. Like, he's fought him 4 times. Like, you got to think about that. It's kind of crazy. And to, like, lose to him and then come back again, like, it's not necessarily a fun idea when you felt those leg kicks, when you felt that left hook.
I don't know. I feel like you just have to, if you're Izzy, you're like, I got to eventually get him. I feel like I've came so close so many times. Like, if I just land once, it has to happen.
I took Jillian Robertson by stub.
Oh, brother, we're not going to pass over Macy Chiasson and
well,
not bring up the bludgeoning. Well, we were just talking about Alex Pereira closer.
And I actually didn't watch that fight.
Oh, dude.
The Chiasson one.
Macy Chiasson put a beat down on Mayra Buena Silva and then hit her with an elbow so hard from the top that her face split open so crazy. She probably lost 2 quarts of blood in 30 seconds and they stopped the fight.
Yeah, that's what John Anik said at the end of the night. He was like, I mean, people were complaining about the stoppage, but it's like, what do you want, her face to hang off of her fucking skull? Like,
yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, but it was inevitable. It wasn't like Miranda Bueno Silva was doing anything good. Like, Macy Chiasson was beating the shit out of her.
Right. And Mayra Bueno Silva, I said on the show, I said in her fight with Raquel Pennington, she had this logo on her face that was like, me no know what to do. You know, pretty much how it looked. But then I took all that back. I said, but then I found out she had a ruptured eardrum. I said, that makes so much sense why she looked confused out there. Her equilibrium was all fucked up, you know? And she couldn't hear her corner's instructions. That's why she looked like, what did you say? I don't know. I can't hear you. Yeah, that makes so much sense. But this fight, you're saying she looked just as bad. And I agree with you.
But Rocky Pennington is so bad. Like, Macy Chiasson's on her way to the title right now. I swear.
And she's calling herself Macy Chiasson now. But it's like, we heard her in all those interviews say, Macy Chiasson? You know, just like that, right? She'd be like, hi, I'm Macy Chiasson. And what, you know, she would say it just like that. Like,
I don't know how many times in interviews people have ever said their own name. I don't know how often that happens.
Hi, I'm Macy Chison, and we're bricked. And I'm needing.
But such a tough broad, dude. Everything she's went through.
There's so much wrong with UFC right now. There's so much wrong between the Riyadh Abu Dhabi card, where they're like, if you watch the MMA Guru's video, he's like talking about how like they give special privileges to these athletes that can't leave the UAE and Riyadh and Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia and shit. And then what I noticed? The pirate was in the States. Did you see him? He was sitting right behind somebody that they pan the camera to. I see the pirate. And it's like, I'd much rather him be able to come over here to work and fight in the ring, because then we know he's occupied and busy. You're letting him come over here on vacation, Biden?
I don't want him to just come here.
I don't want him to be able to just come here.
I think he just got passed through. I think he's good to go now to fight.
They asked last weekend, they said, is he ever going to fight in the U.S.? And Dana's like, no, we're going to keep him here. He probably won't be able to.
I thought I saw.
Well, because the eye. It's not because of the lawsuit. It's because of the eye.
I think you're right. I think that the reason that he can't fight in the U.S. is because of the eye, not because of the fights and the criminal behavior.
Yes, I think it's
Okay.
I think it's the eye.
I still don't want him in the United States, to be honest with you. I don't.
No, I'd prefer if he's not allowed to fight over here. I think he should have to stay. Stay over.
We don't really. Yeah, the U.S. is not, guys. If you're from overseas,
no more sleeper cells. No more sleeper cells.
The UFC or the USA. I just want to put this out there. We are not a vacation destination, guys. We are not a vacation destination. We do enough vacationing amongst ourselves. A lot of the people in the U.S. we don't even leave the country. We vacation here, so we do not need any. I personally, I want to put when Trump gets in office, no more international tourism in the U.S. We're shutting it all down. We don't need it. We do not need it. We do enough travel domestically. We don't need to have anybody coming here taking pictures. No.
The U.S. Virgin Islands, sure, go crazy.
You want pictures?
Puerto Rico, go crazy. The continental U.S. is not a vacation spot.
Look. If we're at the negotiating table, here's what I'm willing to do, and I think this ends it right now. I'll give you guys Hawaii. You're welcome to go visit Hawaii. That is a vacation destination. Japanese, come to Hawaii. New Zealand, come to Hawaii. It's a stone's throw away. I understand. You may go to Hawaii. But I don't want to see people sightseeing Brooklyn. Okay, Hawaii and New York. I'll give you Hawaii and New York.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. You want to see America?
No, not even. New York is too close. Tri-state area. They can get over. There's going to be too much sneaking around. They're going to get in those tunnels. They're going to get in those tunnels, Luke. They're going to get in those tunnels, and you ain't going to see them again. Okay?
I don't think you're going to see those tunnels again. They get in those tunnels. You get the pirate in the tunnel. I think the tunnels are going to go boom. You know what I mean?
You all hand you checks. Bing, 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 bing.
Are we going to address the Habib news? What do we think about this Habib news?
I think we addressed it on the Patreon, but hold on. We can address it. We don't listen. Let me just say this: Jillian Robertson versus Michelle Waterson Gomez. Jillian Robertson, I can't get mad at you. Michelle Waterson, what a stall job. Is this the ultimate stalling championship? Like, let her submit you. What is wrong with you? Like, just sitting there taking, and I could see Michelle Waterson's lips moving, and I'm pretty sure I saw her saying, like, "You bitch, it's my retirement night. Why are you gonna mess up my face with these elbows? Oh, I'm so mad at you. This is my special night where I get to retire." And she's hitting her boom, 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 and you could tell Michelle Waterson was getting all frustrated, as if like she. And the funny thing is, Michelle was like, "I'm a great wrestler. I'm better than her everywhere." Michelle, you got 3 10-8 rounds fed to you. Like, what are you doing in there? And it's like, and this is your retirement fight, like. Let me just say this. Michelle Waterson was saying a lot in her retirement about, it's now my time to cheer my husband and my daughters on and stuff like that. And she was saying, like, my daughter had to miss birthdays. Why do these fighters make their kids have to participate in their bullshit? Like, there's like, what? Like, you fight 3 times a year. You train 2 times a day for 90 minutes a pop. That's 3 hours of your day, and your kid's missing birthdays. 3 hours of your day, 5 days a week, and 3 nights, Saturday nights. Like,
fighters don't understand
your kid should be asleep when the fights are going on every time, and your kid should be at school while you're training every time. And then you come home and like, no, but you don't understand. I do understand. You're making it too complicated. You're making it too much about you. And all of that sacrifice and all of that preparation and all those missed birthday parties, you still got 3 10-8 rounds given to your ass by Jillian Robertson, who's not even good. So it's like, she's getting better. Jillian, you're getting better. But it's just like, this is crazy. This is great. You should retire. But I guarantee she doesn't. I guarantee we see her power slapping Paige Van Zandt. I guarantee we see her bare knuckle boxing some OnlyFans star. I guarantee we see her fucking game bred jiu-jitsu, Michelle Waterson versus Rose and jiu-jitsu. This is stupid. This is dumb. I hate when people say that they're retired from the UFC and then they go do other stuff that takes just as much time. You retire from the UFC. I want them to hold that contract like it's frozen in carbonite. I want it to be like the old days. No, Randy Couture, you can't go fight Fedor. No, everybody, you have to stay here. We're locking you up. We're lock. I want Dana White to lock him up in a contract. All right. That's it for me. I mean,
and I agree with the MMA.
Peyton Talbot is LGBTQ+. Why are people saying that? Is that common? Is that factual?
I think he paints his nails. He has a septum piercing, and that's enough.
He just looks like
he pole dances.
He looks the part. He's like the new guy on the Sixers. He's
got a nose ring.
You know the new guy on the Sixers, Dan?
I don't know.
No, who is that?
The Sixers just drafted the guy from Duke who does the TikToks.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He paints his nails, does TikToks.
I think he's just, you know what Peyton Talbot is? He's just he's a
zesty.
He's a desert zoomer.
He's just zesty. He's just zesty.
He's more like amber is the color of his energy. You know what I mean? He's just a desert turquoise wearing, like, yes, I've done DMT.
He's a wallflower.
You know what I mean? Kind of guy. Like I don't know. Like he's just like
he's a wallflower.
Perks of being a wallflower. Like, yes, exactly. He's like the type of guy who, like, we come to the party, right? We come to the party and we're drinking and stuff. And he's over there in the corner of the room with the bong. And he's, you know what I mean? He's just being like weird. You know what I mean? He's not drinking out of the keg. He's not doing cup chugs. He's not playing beer pong. He's just sort of like being weird, you know?
Yeah, but in terms of Michelle Waterson Gomez, I agree with what the guru said. Like, if that's the precedence for where we get like a huge send-off speech, like same thing with Steve Peterson, like this is the level of guy we're going to give a send-off speech to. And we didn't give it to guys like
Steve Peterson got one.
Yeah. The guy with the Superman on his chest, right? Or no, Ocho. No, it was Ocho.
Yeah. But like, I don't remember that, but yeah, exactly. Like Michelle Waterson, like that performance did not deserve a send-off. Like Henry
never fought for the title, was never ranked in the top 5, was never even considered to be in the title ever.
Like they didn't give Henry Cejudo a post-fight interview, did they? Remember, like they were trying to like not give him one after.
I think that was more a sticking point just because he retired once and they were like, all right, if you're gonna dick around, like you ain't getting it again.
Yeah, nah, Michelle Waterson, that was pathetic. That was piss poor. That was, you want to retire, do it at the fucking press conference the week before. Don't fucking waste our time with that shit. Which brings me to my next point. We're not breaking down women's fights on the show anymore. What do you think, Dan?
There's like 5 next week.
Yeah.
All right.
The next 2 main events, both female fights.
I want to be the only show that says there's a difference between men's MMA and women's MMA. This is a men's MMA show. Just like we don't watch WNBA mixed in with fucking NBA. Just like we don't watch lingerie football league mixed in with NFL. We shouldn't watch women's MMA mixed in with men's MMA.
You know, the only time they do that is halftime, or not halftime, intermission at hockey games. They'll have the mini flyers come out. Like that's exactly like the women's MMA fight. It's like the mini flyers come out. We don't put money on the flyer mini flyers, okay? We're not putting money on these lady fights anymore. I can't do it.
Never.
Even though I love Macy Chiasson, you know.
We're gonna be phasing it out. How about this? We'll agree to phase it out of the show. Let's phase it out.
We're in phase 1 of a phase out. And it starts.
I don't want to shock the audience. And you know, Maria Agapova, I'm sorry, but if Maria Agapova doesn't win her fight this upcoming weekend, no podcast, no $500. So
and Luke, I don't even think you're in position to give anyone $500 anymore. You don't even have 2 pennies to scratch together.
I'm actually not. To be honest, we didn't get the 5 Patreon members. So, I mean, Maria, I don't know what you want from me. You're betting me over a barrel here. Just do the podcast. Like, you're not getting 500. Eric Anderson can get 500. You know, I know.
You know what's crazy, Luke? You know what's crazy?
I offered it when you said you were homeless. Now I'm realizing that was a fucking myth. That was probably a fucking myth. That's like when you see like one of these, you know, Instagram like thotty bahadis, you know what I mean? And they go, ugh, I had just gotten a car accident. You know, they're just like talking about how bad their life is, so that guys will like donate or subscribe or whatever. It's just like.
Or Joe Pfeiffer saying he was poor and won $1 million.
What?
Or Joe Pfeiffer saying he was poor when he won $1 million?
When did he win $1 million? Oh, no, he won like a bunch of money with that Cal. Yeah, that is his friend. So, yeah, I texted Joe Pfeiffer after the win, and I said, I was so nice, dude. I was like, hold on.
But he was like, where were you when I lost my last fight?
I'm like, we were trying to get you on the podcast since we're in the Contender Series. Fuck off. Like, that's the thing. Joe Pfeiffer the type of guy.
He said that to you.
No. But I'm saying Joe Pfeiffer is the type of guy to look at my text and be like, yeah, but when I lost to Jack, he was nowhere to be found. But it's like, yeah, we were. We've supported you your whole career before we were even in the Contender Series. Alex,
even when you broke your arm,
Yeah, Alex has known who you were since you were in fucking high school. Like, we have mutual acquaintances, and you've been nothing but unsupportive to us. You put the fucking boot on our neck and pushed us down when you could have helped elevate our podcast. We're hometown guys, and that was fucked up. So
okay, so listen to this. Listen to this. We have been asking him to be on the show since he broke his arm on the Contender Series.
It was after that. It
was even before he won on the Contender Series, though. It was before he won on the Contender Series. We were trying to get him on when we had that little freak on here. That
it was, but after the Stolfitz fight, but before the second one. You know what I mean? Like, before when he was on the Contender Series for his second time on the Contender Series. That's when we were trying to get him on. Way back in the day, way before B. Joe Pfeiffer, way before any of this bullshit. We were the first Joe Pfeiffer.
And then Dana said,
Joe Pfeiffer fans.
And then Dana White says, "Be like Joe Pfeiffer," and he goes Hollywood. He doesn't know nobody.
And guys, it's like we have I would share. I'm not gonna I just want to show that there's like a lot of text. Like, you know what I mean?
I hope you didn't just flash that at the screen and show his cell phone number to me.
But it's like, hey, Joe, happy birthday. Thank you.
You better make sure you go back and check and make sure that you did not put his phone number on the screen. I'm telling you right
now, there's no cell phone number. It says JP. It's not a cell phone
Okay,
number.
Cool.
So, but I go, I was like, June 12th, 2023. June 12th, 2023. Hey, yo, Joe, just want to confirm, today at 6, you can also hop in any 15-minute window between 6 and 7. That was the text I sent him on a year ago, okay? Can't, brother. Unfortunately, a teammate of mine died. I'll be at the funeral. And I said, oh, my God, I'm so sorry, man. Just saw the story. Really sucks. If there's a GoFundMe, we'll shout it out on the show. All the best. That was my last text to him. So I don't understand. Like I'm a nice guy. Like, I'm being nice. I don't know why. I'm being nice. I'm being very nice. So then I sent him a text on Saturday. That was some old school Chuck Liddell shit. Bomb emoji. Red.
But you weren't there for him
No
for Jack
reply.
Hermanson.
No reply. So, guys, I mean,
Don't be like Joe Pfeiffer. He's rude.
it hurts. It does hurt my feelings a little bit, to be honest with you. It does hurt my feelings a little bit because it's like, okay, 15 minutes. I mean, geez, no, 15 minutes of your time. Like, geez, sorry. Anyway, Peyton Talbot, sus, zesty, but love him. Gene Silva, don't love him, missed weight. I didn't watch his post-fight interview. I'm sure he had something to say. Crying. I had it on mute, but I'm looking at the TV. I'm like, oh my God, why is he fucking crying so much? No crying. Is that so hard to ask? No crying? Like, you think we're asking these guys no tattoos? You know what I mean? You think we're telling these guys no tattoos the way that they fucking want to cry? It's like, settle down, cry in the back, or not at all.
And speaking of tattoos, there was more tattoo per square inch on Andre Feely and Cub Swanson than you've seen in the cage in some time.
My fiance and I were remarking upon the heavy metal toxicity that must be going through their blood from all of the heavy metal and ink. Yeah. When I see people with tattoos, I feel terrible for them. Like after watching that video about what tattoos do to your body,
not even that. It's just like, have fun getting into heaven, you fucking loser.
Please.
Or any type of religious Valhalla. It's like they all kind of say no tattoos. So
yeah.
Well,
Dan, if you saw Dan take off his shirt, he has a full chest and back piece. That's why he reacted like that.
Oh yeah.
I will say,
baby.
When it comes to me having eyes on underdogs, the eyes I had on Cub Swanson at plus 200 were correct. He did lose a split decision. I mean, it was closer than the odds indicated.
A lot of people thought he won too.
Michael Venom Page as an underdog against Ian Gary. I feel I was correct in my assessment. It just was these little areas of the fight that positions we lost, right?
Arlovsky Split decision loss, plus 200 dog.
No, yeah, but
And I thought Arlovsky won that. I really did think Arlovsky won that.
Oh, but yeah, no, I did call over 1.5 for Ray Saruya and over 1.5 for Badai Arlovsky. So both fights went to decision. So easy peasy there. All right.
I had over 1.5 on Talbot. That lost big time. That's so funny that he told the guy, if you want to beat me, kick me in the legs. And then the guy kicked him in the legs and he just knocked his ass out.
That's funny.
Did you see the video of his like YouTube tutorial? He was like, if you want to beat me, you're going to have to like, he did it. And in French, he had like French voiceover with like subtitles up. And it was like, if you want to beat me, kick me in the legs really hard, throw a couple of them at a time. That's my biggest weakness.
No,
that's how confident I am that I'm telling you exactly how you need to beat me. And then the guy throws a leg kick and he just stiffs him immediately.
Sign him up for Jonathan Martinez.
Dude, he just big brained him. He was like, please leg kick me. Please, please, please. Do not throw any hands. Just keep leg kicking me. Do not go for takedowns. Just leg kick me.
And
that's my biggest kryptonite.
Right before the fight started, he's sitting there and they're announcing him. He's like, I'm like, damn, he's got some fast hands. I'm like, he's got some wrong hands. Yeah, well, I had something I was going to say, but I forget.
Everybody was like, Peyton Talbot's so alpha that he tells the guy how to beat him even before the fight. It's like, guys, don't you think that this might be like a cloak and dagger type thing where he's not really revealing all of the truth? Like, do you think if he had a leg injury this fight camp, he'd be like, yeah, kick me in the legs, please? Like, maybe he has an injury on his hand or his arm or something, and he's like, I can't deal with body kicks. Let me just try to, it's a Hail Mary at this point, guys. Maybe the YouTube video will work.
All right. Well, this weekend is a break week, but this weekend we do have Nate Diaz versus George Masvidal, Saturday, July 6th, from the Honda Center. It's going to be pay-per-view. It's saying U.S. broadcast is pay-per-view. How the fuck do you watch it? It says FanMic pay-per-view. Fan. I don't know. What?
How the fuck do you pull out your debit or credit card and actually pay to watch that? That's my bigger question here. Not how physically you do it, but how you bring yourself to pay for that. Are you guys going to watch?
No, I'm not watching.
And you know what I want to say? Chael Sonnen, for all the shit he talked about, like Anthony Joshua versus Ngannou and Ngannou versus Fury, and how like nobody knew how to buy it or when it was on or that it was on in the middle of the day or anything like that. Then he goes and does this fucking cash grab with Anderson Silva where you couldn't even buy it. You couldn't even access it. You couldn't, there was no US way to watch it without a VPN. And yeah, I mean, that was, I'm sick of these money grabs. I'm sick of these cash grabs. I'm sick of these, like, let's all go and make money and not like risk anything or get hurt, no stakes, nobody cares. It's like, this is stupid. And you're not even trying to win or hurt each other. You're just doing it for yourselves. Like I don't want to watch a Super Sweet 16. Okay. I don't care. I don't care about Diaz versus Masvidal in a boxing match, to be honest with you guys. I'm going to probably watch it. I don't know that they're going to try. So,
Luke, you know what's hilarious?
I'm not going to try.
You know what's hilarious?
Jake fucking Paul. And that's the other thing. And then there's all these excuses after the fact, like, well, it's just a box match, man. So you didn't care. Why didn't you tell me that at the beginning? You know what I mean? Like, tell me.
Why didn't you tell me that before I bet $500 on you and also bought a pay-per-view that I thought you cared about the fight that you were going to be in?
Crazy.
Like, Nate, it wasn't that big of a deal when you were on UFC fight nights for the most part, and also pay-per-views that you weren't the main event of, that I could be like, okay, well, he just didn't really care that much. And he was kind of badass in it. But like when you're the main draw of the thing and I don't have something to watch after I like watch you go for guillotines in a boxing match, like, come on, man.
I think Masvidal loses to Diaz. I think Masvidal is I think that Masvidal's lifestyle is less oriented around training. I think Diaz trains for fun. I think Diaz is in good shape pretty much all the time. And even when he's not in good shape, he's just not a bitch. Like you wouldn't see him tired even if he was tired. He just pushes. Like he's an endurance athlete. So I think in the later rounds,
10 rounds.
Yeah, it's 10 rounds. Diaz is going to take over from 5 on. I think from 5 on, George is going to be sucking wind bad. And
Luke, you know what I find hilarious? If you multiply your amount of money right now by 10, that was your peak. That was your pinnacle.
I said that at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That just means I need a plus 1,000 thing, and I'm back. Plus 1,000 bet. Ian Gary by submission.
That didn't happen. That didn't even in hindsight. Your hindsight isn't even 2020.
I'll find something. Anthony Pettis versus Chris Avila. You know,
Luke gets the sports almanac and Back to the Future and fucking still bets the other thing. He's like, oh no, that ain't happening. Ian Gary is gonna submit him first round.
Okay, well, there's only 8 bouts announced for the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado on this card. So this is going to be a quick breakdown, guys. We're going to get you in and out of here real quick. You're going to have to check the open bet sheet for the ones that we're not going to get to today.
And we're not going too deep on the ladies. This is how we phase them out. We just like kind of give quick rapid fire picks for lady fights.
These are some of my favorite ladies on these cards, some of them. So we can talk about them. I mean, a lot of these ladies, you know, the highest number of losses that any of these ladies has is 6. So you got a lot of ladies with only 1 loss, some with 4, 3, 1, you know. So, all right, these ladies came to party. You know, they don't have 20 losses like Anthony Smith. They don't have.
But Luke didn't tell you half of them.
Anthony Smith got double-digit losses and then got double-digit losses again.
Anthony Smith does have a female MMA fighters like record, and I was thinking that as they were walking out to the cage, I was like, "Wow, Anthony Smith is kind of like a girl out there." Like, if you look at his, he doesn't. He doesn't.
It's the winner you learn. He loses and doesn't learn.
Yeah, he just goes. He literally is with Jamal Hill at the Copacabana Hotel, and they sit there and they cope, and they're like, "It was just a bad night." You know, sometimes you go out there and you don't have your best performance. But when I do have my best performance, I can beat anyone. But it has to be on my worst day, I can beat anybody. On my best day, I can beat anybody.
Anthony Smith's out here talking about his training sessions with Weidman. He's like, I don't know how Weidman's ever lost a fight. He does whatever he wants to me. And when we train, he beats the shit out. It's like, yeah, because you suck. And Weidman. It's like
don't tell on yourself.
And Anthony or Jamal Hill is turning into Deontay Wilder when it comes. He's like, it wasn't for the crab in the bucket referee.
Dude, I love Jamal Hill at the Copacabana Hotel. Every single thing he says now is just like ultimate cope. And I mean, but at the same time, like that's kind of the mindset you have to be able to come back and fight Alex Pierre. You can't be like, the only reason he beat me is because he's using demonic magic, and if I get him to promise to not use it this time, I think I can win. But then Alex Pierre is like, believe in my spirits or not, they're coming. And then he's like, oh.
Did you see after the fight, like right before the, Joe talks to Alex, they're both still in the octagon, Yuri and Alex just gives him a look. And that's when Yuri like kind of collapses on his trainer or whatever. And people are kind of surmising is like, even just his look with the power of the demons or whatever just made him collapse. It's very telling. If you watch the video, it's pretty crazy.
I saw that
Alex
too.
Pierre has the most aura of any human being in the world. Like everything he does is so cool. Every single thing he does, just like just not even knowing anything, saying 2 words only.
You know what's really cool to think about too? And I'm not being a character here, guys. This is the real me coming out. It's cool to know that Alex Pereira was not somebody that you would respect just a few years ago. It's cool to know that just a few years ago, this man was somebody who he himself didn't even respect. He was in he had problems with drinking, alcohol, you know what I mean? And that's just so amazing that like you can go from being so under the spell of addiction and something so soul consuming as alcohol that like literally like turns you like not only can you not fight when you're drunk, you can't think when you're drunk, it just reduces you, right? You're not lucid at all. You're not focused at all. And now he has this unblinking stare. And now the only thing he's addicted to are the zinnies. And you know what? If Alex Pereira does the zinnies, I should get back on the zinnies. God damn it.
I think I should be allowed to do some zins too. You know, like if that's what the zins do, a couple of Zinachinos. If you got Nina Drama sitting here taking zins, come on, man. It's zinner time. How many more? How many more can I do?
Alex Pereira, Tucker Carlson. I mean, you gotta like, it's for your health.
I met a guy over the weekend who, cool dude, just met him. We're chatting it up, and he's like, "Hey, you want one of these? I get them shipped from overseas. It was like a special Zin flavor. It was like a watermelon. Delicious. It was great. Loved it." He's like, "They don't even sell these in America. I get them shipped overseas."
They used to. They used to have like Zin watermelon, Zin mango. Same with the Juuls, you know. They used to have the flavors, but they banned flavor tobacco.
Right? I saw a video of like, because Zin is from Sweden, so it's Swedish Match is the company, and I saw a video of like apparently in Sweden, this is something they've known about for a very long time, and it's like much more inundated with the culture. And there was like 3 platinum blonde, like 22-year-old girls, all with Zins in their lips. I was just like, and there is something cool about it. I don't know, like they say smoking's not cool, nicotine's not cool, but when you, I don't.
That has to be a subreddit, girls who's in.
Well, there was girls who dip, but now it's like, ew, pigs.
Yeah.
It's like, get it
together. Get it together.
Disgusting. We have Zin now. You don't need to fucking be putting all those brown leaves in your mouth. All right. 8 fights to break down. It's better if we start at the bottom.
That's the last time I was doing real dip, Luke. Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz. We threw a couple lippers in right in Madison Square Garden. Are you kidding me?
No,
at least I did. I was tossing lippers all up.
Dude, this guy remembers like fucking shit that just isn't like, it's not even like, I'm like, I wouldn't care if we did, but it's like we didn't.
He's crazy.
At all. Like, not even at all.
He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything. He's the one who just doesn't remember anything whatsoever. He is older than me. His memory is gone.
You're thinking of...
This was before Zins were even a thing. I had some pouchies, baby. Copenhagen Wintergreen, of course.
I don't know. But, all right, let's just make it happen. All right, guys, this is going to be the breakdown for UFC Denver. You know, we got a live audience, Ball Center. You know, it's Rose Namajunas versus Mackenzie Barber, but Barber had to pull out. So now we got Tracy Cortez.
You want me to take it away? It's going to be a boring ass fight. First and foremost, Tracy Cortez is going to win by decision. Rose Namajunas always struggles with the wrestlers. It's going to be a staring contest a lot of the time. Tracy Cortez is a lot like Carla Esparza. I think that's really the fight to make in this division. I think Tracy Cortez versus Carla Esparza will be a really fun fight. But in this fight, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a staring contest. Rose Namajunas has always struggled with wrestlers. It's going to be super scared of Tracy Cortez's wrestling game. And as long as Tracy Cortez can make the weight, she's coming in on short notice. She used to hang out with Brian Ortega the whole time. But, you know, Brian Ortega probably just didn't want to fight anyway, just so he didn't have to donate $100,000 to that church. But that's besides the point. I'm going with Tracy Cortez by decision.
I agree with you. Tisha Pennington, Tisha Torres, you may remember. Carla Esparza, 2 of her early losses, you know, 2 wrestlers. Then you can see going further, she's lost to a then undefeated Karolina Kowalkiewicz. You know, and then she lost to Jessica Andrade with that slam. Even when she beat Jessica Andrade, only one of the judges thought so. When she rematched Weili Zhang, only one of the judges thought that Weili Zhang won. It was a split decision both times. Then she goes on a bit of a losing streak, loses again to Carla Esparza, loses to Manon Fiorot, loses a grappling match to Jillian Robertson in a minute. Amanda Ribas is her last win back in March. Amanda Ribas fights like Yuri Prochazka, you know what I mean? Loves getting hit. Can't, you know.
It's crazy because Rose has good slick jiu-jitsu, but she used to be known for her jiu-jitsu a lot more, and then she got in touch with that Trevor Whitman kickboxing and all that bull. So, you know, it's it can go one of two ways here. I just think the pressure of Tracy Cortez is gonna be too much. Rose has shown us numerous times she can't fight wrestlers.
Yep, I agree. And Fight Ready MMA is going to have Tracy Cortez ready for this. It's the biggest opportunity she's ever had. She's main eventing. She's ready for this. I think Rose is a mentally weak, and she's going to crumble under the fact that it's a new opponent. She does care. Don't let her fool you. She does care. And it's a different fight. As soon as her plan for Macy doesn't work against Tracy, she's going to crumble and fall apart. I think a lot of people are going to be picking Rose here. I'm going the opposite way.
The narrative of the universe is that Brian Ortega did Tracy or Cortez, almost combined their last names there, did her dirty. Now Ortega on the downswing. Everyone's making fun of him. He misses weight. He gets a little cold. He's got to pull out of a fight. The very next UFC event is going to be Tracy Cortez main eventing, getting the biggest win of her career. As you guys have said, Rose Namajunas, great fighter, but not good at being the nail. When someone takes it to her, big time struggles, especially in the wrestling department. You guys already broke this thing down, and I completely agree. And it's going to be Tracy Cortez, an underdog, Triple P certified pick to start off our card.
Beautiful.
Finish off the night.
And do we have Contender Series coming back soon? When's Contender Series coming back soon?
I have no idea, but I do know the next fight is Muslim Salikov versus Ponzinibbio. What's his first? Santiago Ponzinibbio. For me, this is a loser leaves town match. You know, they both stink. Losers getting cut. Maybe not Ponzinibbio because he does a lot of work. He's like an Anthony Smith of Central America. For the UFC, he breaks. I think he does like the Spanish broadcast. Does he not? I think he has Anthony Smith's exact job for this Spanish broadcast. So, like I said, Central American Anthony Smith. Well, I guess South American Argentina. Regardless, I think Salikov wins this fight. I think Ponzinibbio is very chinny. I think Muslim Salikov is going to win this on points. It's not going to be very dazzling, but he might be able to knock Ponzinibbio down. Ponzinibbio's a little chinny. These guys are both super old. I just think Muslim Salikov gets it done for some reason.
So they're both super old. I think between the two of them, I'm liking Ponzinibbio here. Salikov, you know, he still has skills. He's a talented counter striker, but that's just the issue. Like, he doesn't pull the trigger enough in his elder age. I'm just pulling up his stats here real quick. Let's see. Lost the last two fights, got knocked out in his last fight. That was in February, so pretty quick turnaround for a first-round KO. The previous fight, he landed 57 strikes. Previous to that, 56. I don't know. I just don't feel like this guy is high volume enough. I feel like Ponzinibbio, he's at the tail end of his career as well, obviously, but he's going to be the one that's dictating pace. He's going to be the one moving forward. I think it's going to be a decision win for Santiago Ponzinibbio.
All right, Santiago Ponzinibbio has a job commentating with the UFC. He's a desk guy. Ever since he got a desk job, it's never a good thing, right? You can't have money coming in from other sources. But he is 3 years younger. I just, you get knocked out by Kevin Holland, who, is hit or miss. You get handled for 2 rounds by Alex Morono. You lose to Michelle Perry, you lose to Jeff Neal, you lose, when he fought Miguel Baez 3 years ago, Ponzinibbio was really trying to get some aura going for a title shot in the press conferences and shit. This is a tough one, man. I'm not taking Muslim Salikov. He's 40 years old, coming off a knockout loss 4 months ago. Ponzinibbio is coming off a knockout loss a year ago. Okay. Give me Ponzinibbio.
If you look at those 2 losses, Michelle Piera and Jeff Neal, quality, 2 split decision losses. He was right up there with them.
Oh man. Okay. So Trophy certify. Alex, what do you think? Did you pick?
Nope. I have Muslim Salikov.
Why?
I just have a feeling.
He's a little slow. He's 40, slow.
Very
slow.
slow.
Seems more about speed,
Very slow.
I just think Ponzinibbio's chinny. That's the thing. I think that Muslim Salikhov is more durable, although he got knocked out to Kevin Holland.
No. Ponzinibbio got knocked out by Kevin Holland a year ago. Salikhov got knocked out by Randy Rude Boy Brown 4 months ago.
Randy Rude Boy Brown hits 90 times harder than Kevin Holland. I'll be the first to tell you that. So I am much more confident that Muslim Salikhov's chin will hold up more than Santiago Ponzinibbio's. I just think Santiago Ponzinibbio's chinny. That's all.
Okay. No trophy certification there, but I'm going to stick with the 3 years younger guy just because I know 40 is just too much. So, all right, Angalusa versus Gabriel Bonfim. 26-year-old Gabriel Bonfim coming out of Serrato MMA. 2 wins, 1 loss in the UFC, 1 win off the Contender Series. His only loss is to Nicholas Dalby, who, although people clown a little bit, he looked pretty good in his last fight. Nicholas Dalby.
Who'd he fight? He did amazing. Nicholas Dalby. I thought Renat Fakhretdinov. I thought he won. I thought he won that fight, Nicholas Dalby.
Yeah, split decision. He's got that was a 4-fight winning streak that ended with Bonfim. But it's like the reason is it's like, okay, you got Tim Means, who is on his way out 3 years ago, and he's got 12 losses. He defeats Nicholas Dalby by decision. Okay, then Dalby goes on a bit of a run, but it includes a split decision against Warlley Alves, right? So it's like that's why it's no good to get finished by Nicholas Dalby. You know what I mean? He didn't finish any of the 4 guys before you, and those 4 guys aren't 26 and aren't hot prospects. He didn't finish Daniel Rodriguez, but he did finish Gabriel Bonfim. So Gabriel Bonfim now comes in against Angalusa. Angalusa, a stain upon his name, a scarlet letter. Angalusa, a scarlet letter, a stain upon your name. You shall never. It'll be very hard to earn the respect of the Triple P podcast. Not fighting over an eye. And when we, respect Michael Bisping so much, we don't respect Bilal Muhammad. We respect Michael Bisping so much. We respect the Pirate so much. We do not respect Chris Curtis. If you can't continue because of an eye poke, you are telling one-eyed little boys all over the world that their dreams of being in the UFC are simply impossible, and that the people they're watching on screen aren't even aspirational, aren't even something that they can look at and derive strength from. You won't carry on in a situation that these young boys have to live with every single day. They have to go to school with one eye. They have to learn how to drive with one eye. They have to learn how to dance at the prom with one eye. They have to learn how to ask a girl out to the prom with one eye. They have to do everything in their life with one eye. But yet you can't even do 15 minutes of your job with one eye. This is a little bit crazy. So Angalusa, shame, a scarlet letter. That was a fight that you were losing. That is a fight that you looked for a way out of. That is not Bushido code. That is actually cowardice. That is actually bad for business. And you have your head down and those little crocodile tears coming down. And you wanted Brian Battle to give you sympathy so bad. And you know what he did? He fucking told you you were a little coward. And he meant it. And what did you do then? Then you wanted to fight him, didn't you? Then you really wanted to fight him. Then you suddenly that eye was all better, right? You're a bitch.
Brian Battle called him a pussy bitch to his face. That was amazing. I loved that. That was awesome. Pooh Bear, aka the Butcher, Brian the Butcher Battle, my guy. That's how you guys got into trouble with Ian Gary in the first place. Okay, people forget that the whole entire reason the PPP boys got in hot water with Ian Gary is because Brian Battle called Ian Gary out, and Ian Gary put up a video of him shopping for strollers 4 months before his child was born. And he said, I'm trying to get my son in Rolls Royce tires. On his stroller will be Rolls Royce tires. And fuck that, fuck him, fuck Ian Gary. I'm gonna go with Bonfim. Lusa is a loser. He's a quitter. He's gonna find a way out. And I think this fight's gonna go a lot like the next fight. And Dan, how do you feel about this one?
Oh boy, I am not as bullish as you fellas on Gabriel Bonfim. He's only had the first 2 fights in the UFC lasted all of like 3 seconds. And then his last one, we see him gassing out, like midway through the fight. I forget if it was it might have been actually towards the end. I don't even really know. But there's just not enough data on Mr. Bonfim to bet minus 360 last I checked on him. And Angie Lusa, say what you want about him. He might be a quitter, but we saw in the last fight that Bonfim quit as well. Okay, so we got 2 quitters here. And Lusa, we know, has good cardio. He's got a good gas tank, and he could put a lot of volume together in a 15-minute fight. So I would rather not bet this one. I think, listen, the talent level probably goes to Bonfim. And one of Lusa's skills is the wrestling. He wants to take it to the mat, which is where I think he'll have a disadvantage offensively with Bonfim going for submission after submission. I'll pick Bonfim. Not crazy about it. Not going to be on any of my parlays. Maybe 1 or 2, but not loving it.
I don't like when you are coming on to agree with us and you say, "Well, I don't know about this one."
I told you why it's iffy. I told you why it's iffy. It's
I'm switching. You're right, because at the end of the day, Bonfim is more fragile, and his path to victory is through jiu-jitsu. And Angelusa is strong enough over a 15-minute fight.
You are crazy and you're dumb.
Hold on, stop interrupting me, dude. This is a show where people want to hear my opinion, then yours. But when you drink, you interrupt me. So don't ever interrupt me again. And I never interrupt. So here's what we need. We need to have Angelusa show up with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to be super mad, super irritated. He's going to swing out of his shoes. And he's not going to feel threatened by Bonfim because he's going to be too strong and too slippery to get submitted by him in a 5-minute clip. It's going to take Bonfim time to tire him out, to set him up. It's going to take prolonged grappling exchanges that during Angelusa is going to be landing thudding shots. I'm going with Angelusa now. But not because I respect him and not because I respect Bonfim. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying, gun to my head, he's from the Congo. He's going to swing out of his shoes. Bonfim can't take the shots he's given. Bonfim has no intimidating offense for Angelusa. Now, Battle had some attributes. He had the height, the reach, the length. He's a good striker. He's cerebral. He thinks in there. He's got 5 fight IQ. He moves. He was doing really well at frustrating Angelusa with his range. Bonfim doesn't have as long of a reach, even though he's a little bit taller. He's just too lanky. His neck's not big enough. His ass isn't big enough. His shoulders aren't big enough. Lusa's going to swing out of his fucking shoes, clip this guy. He's going to fucking put his butt against the fence, and he's going to get a TKO win. Angelusa by TKO. I see it.
I just think you're going to see a more patient Bonfim this fight than you've seen in the past. And a lot of those subs that he's had have been clubbing subs. He's got to
put Angelusa on his back foot if you want to beat him.
He's going to. He's put everybody on their back foot. He's clubbed and subbed almost every guy he's fought. I don't think that any of those submissions came from just him taking someone down and submitting them. I think it was all club and sub.
I'm low on the Bonfim brothers.
He fought Terrence McKinney, right? This is the one that fought Terrence McKinney. He rocked the shit out of him.
It's the other one.
Oh, it's the other one.
Terrence McKinney,
the better one.
This is the better one.
No, this is the one who beat Trey Waters, gave him his first loss. He beat Murinir Laziz, Trevin Giles.
Even better.
Yeah, I'm back on.
Yo, he didn't fight Trey Waters.
Yeah, he did. Bonfim, yeah, he did.
When?
I'm not seeing Trey Waters. First fight in the UFC.
Nah. His first fight, I'm looking at it here, was
Contender Series. Von Flutroke. Gabriel Bonfim choked out. I'm looking at it. He choked out.
Series.
Oh, no. My bad. I'm looking at Angelusa. My bad. You right.
All right. So I don't know who I'm picking, really. I really could see Angelusa swinging out of his fucking shoes with a lot of steam coming out of his ears from that last time in the octagon and put Bonfim away. I could also see him trying to do that and Bonfim ending up weathering the storm and making him gassed and then getting a submission. So this fight ain't going the distance. That's what I'll say. This fight ain't going the distance.
Yeah, 2 quitters. That's the last thing you would think is
live
going to
audience,
happen.
live studio audience. All right, next we got Cody Brundage versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
I think this is the exact same as that fight that we just broke down, and except it's going to be Al Hassan winning this one. I think that Cody Brundage is a quitter. I think he's going to look for a way out, and unless Al Hassan does something stupid, which he is pretty prone to do, I think these guys are just as bad as one another. And I think Al Hassan, with the power, is going to have Cody Brundage very scared the whole time.
Luke, why do you hate Cody Brundage? Well, I bet on him to beat. I bet on him to beat Adolfo Vieira, 8-2 jiu-jitsu only guy, a guy that I could knock out 100%. He would never get me on the ground. He would never. Adolfo Vieira would never, ever in his long-legged life be able to take me from being on my feet to being on my butt. He didn't wrestle growing up. He didn't wrestle in high school. He definitely didn't wrestle for a little state called New Jersey. Okay, so Adolfo Vieira could not get me off my feet. It would be worse than the Fluffy Hernandez beatdown that he took, and yet he still found a way to get Cody Brundage, who is a wrestler, to the mat and submit him with an arm triangle choke. So Cody Brundage, super shameful. I picked you to beat Adolfo Vieira. You were younger, and you didn't do it, right? You got finished a year ago. Then 2 months later, you fight Cedricus Dumas, a guy who is literally looking at his corner for instructions on what to do when he's got a snap down. He's got a collar. What was he got? He's in this position. He's like
turtle. He had in turtle.
He had an arm. He's like got him. He's
front headlock.
Front headlock. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm thinking. Front headlock. He had him in a front headlock, arm on the tricep, front headlock, and is looking at his corner like, what do I do now? And Cody Brundage couldn't figure out a way out of there because he had already quit in his mind. He's a bitch. Cody Brundage, you fucking suck. Stop hanging out with Anthony Smith, man. As long as you hang out with Anthony Smith, you're no friend of this show. But you've already lost that ability, even without Anthony Smith being your friend, when you didn't beat Adolfo Vieira, you didn't beat Cedricus Dumas, and then a three-peat of shame, you cry to the ref and have poor Jacob Malkoun disqualified because he hurt you too bad. Then you slam Zach Reese. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Then you fight Bo Nickel in a fight nobody wanted you to get, and you got beat, in 2 rounds. Wow. Instead of 1. Wow. Cody Brundage is going to win here. He's 8 years younger. Factory X Muay Thai. He's going to wrestle. He's going to be scared to death. He's going to get this guy to the ground. He's going to win. I'm going Cody Brundage to win. Could be a submission.
Crazy.
Ground and pound. Could be decision. Really, I don't know how he's going to do it. But I'm picking Cody Brundage.
Cody Brundage for the win. No. You're wrong, Alex. Cody Brundage is going to win.
A 38-year-old man and a 40-year-old man. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. We got Abdul Razak Al Hassan getting taken down multiple times in many fights, like 6 times, 8 times, an obscene amount of times that you would never see with many other fighters in the UFC. Cody Brundage, he's going to stick to the game plan. Like Luke said, he's going to take him down from Jump Street. If you really want to hedge yourself here, I've been playing around with this betting style. It served me well. Alternative winning method. You do Cody Brundage by decision, Abdul Razak Al Hassan by knockout. One bet, probably like -200.
Wow, I can't see that going wrong at all.
Or you go Abdul Razak Al Hassan finish only, meaning if he doesn't get a finish or get finished, it's voided. The only way. So if he gets a finish, you win.
Yeah.
If it goes to decision, then push.
Oh.
If he gets finished,
yeah, that would be a good bet. Yeah, I like that.
Wait,
too.
I think though if he loses a decision, you still lose. Actually, I forget.
I was going to say it makes sense that you would. Seems like a win-win situation.
Yeah.
But no, I do like Cody Brundage here. In my mind's eye, I just have like a Rolodex of film of Cody Brundage getting knocked out 15 different ways. But he's only been knocked out 1 time in the UFC. I don't know why I have this in my mind. Not saying he's the toughest guy of all time. We've certainly seen him quit, been submitted a couple times. Submission is not in play, obviously, in this fight. So I just see a wrestling fest out there. That's what's going down.
Christian Rodriguez, C-Rod versus Juicy J, Julian Erosa. They just wanted to get 2 guys who used the first letter of their first name in their nickname, and they got it. They found it. Juicy J, slick submission against Ricardo Ramos. Pulled that one off after getting knocked out twice in a row by Alex Caceres and Fernando Padilla. Fernando Padilla is a beast. You mentioned Steve Peterson earlier. 2 years, 4 months ago, Juicy J took him to a split decision. After that, he took Hakeem Dawadu to a decision, got knocked out twice in a row. C-Rod, his only loss is Jonathan Pierce 2 years, 4 months ago. This fight, I feel the interesting thing about this fight is that Juicy J 6'1", C-Rod 5'7". Juicy J 74.5-inch reach, C-Rod 71-inch reach. Juicy J 34, not yet 35, not yet over the hill, but 11 losses, 29 wins, 40 fights total, and a lot of knockout losses. But he's at Extreme Couture. He's in there with, intention. He's in there with people who are about this life and the shit. Whereas C-Rod, you know, he's at Rufus Sport. Duke Rufus, fat, lazy, out of shape, doesn't really give his, you know, he's got Anthony Pettis making all this kind of money for him. He's got Sergio Pettis making all this kind of money for him. He's got Ben, by the way, Anthony Pettis, who fights in boxing this same weekend
against Chris.
Or the weekend before. So how much attention is Duke Rufus paying to C-Rod right now if C-Rod is fighting the weekend after Anthony's fighting for boxing against Chris Avila? So I think Rufus Sport MMA, and 2 thumbs way down. Oh, you got Tyron Woodley. Oh, you got Ben Askren. Oh, you got Anthony Pettis. Oh, you got Sergio Pettis. Who else? Who else? Right? Those guys are all retired.
Paul Felder.
Hufian Stotts.
Hufian Stotts is really good. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. I'm tempted to go C-Rod here, but really he just hasn't done enough to earn it, in my opinion. I mean, you know, wins against the young boys. You got wins against Rosas Jr., Cameron Simon, Isaac Dolgarian. This is C-Rod has kind of emerged as he was the dark horse of the young bulls. Now he's like proven in the young bull tournament to be the best. He's got 1 loss to Jonathan Pierce, JSP. You got to just wonder, like, this is one of those learning fights. Is Christian Rodriguez him? Is he Peyton Talbot level, right? Or is Juicy J about to give him a veteran's lesson here? I don't like 8 years younger, but I don't hate that he's 34, right? So, I don't know. This is a tough one for me, guys. I love Juicy J, but I kind of felt like I got lucky in his last fight with Ricardo Ramos. I kind of felt like he got lucky. I felt like but he does pull guillotine. He's good with that damn guillotine. And he said that if Jourdain could guillotine him, I'm definitely guillotining him because my guillotine's nice. This is tough. I think I just have to hold my nose and say Christian Rodriguez. But I don't like it. I don't love it. I would much rather be on the Juicy J train here. I don't think Christian Rodriguez is a dynamic enough striker to knock out Juicy J. I think Juicy J is dynamic and wild enough to show this kid some veteranship that he hasn't seen before. I'm going Juicy J.
Juicy J might be 34, but in fight years, he's more like 55. I'm going to go with Christian Rodriguez. To me, it's a tale of 2 different fighters. One is measured, intelligent, goes in with good game plans. The other one is just kind of balls to the wall. Let's throw some jello on the wall, see what happens. A lot of wall metaphors. He's going to be running into a brick wall in Christian Rodriguez because this kid is tough. He's not going to get finished. Tough as nails. And again, I think it's going to put together a better game plan and is not only that, but I just think more skilled technically. So give me the young bull here who's turning into a young man before our eyes and a real contender. I was a contender, Jerry.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody throwing jello at the wall to see if it sticks, but
never heard that phrase? It's like nailing jello to a wall. You can't do it. It doesn't stick. Throwing spaghetti at the wall. You may have heard that one.
That's what I thought you were trying to say. You didn't. I thought
nailing
you said
jello to the wall, throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's all.
You said you were throwing jello at the wall.
I know, but it's still the jello is going on the wall. Whether you throw it there, you nail it there.
No jello is staying on no walls. Okay, we're not putting any jello on the walls. No walls around here, at least. Yeah, I just think, like Dan said, Arosa takes too much damage. He has taken too much damage. He has a lot of miles on him, and that's going to wear him down in this, where Christian Rodriguez has taken no damage, misses weight every fight, and wins every fight that he has. I say C-Rod probably misses weight by 5 pounds, comes in here. There's a lot of dog in this fight, okay? Both of these guys are dogs. I don't think one is going to outlast the other. But I think Rodriguez wins. I don't think either of these guys outdog each other. I think C-Rod outskills Julian Arosa. He wins a lot of fights by just outdogging the guy he's fighting, taking more damage, and then being there in the later rounds when the other guy's tired. Homer Simpsoning, as the kids say.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think he's going to do that against C-Rod. C-Rod has a patient game. He's got a good grappling game. And I don't really see the reach coming into effect as much.
Agreed. All right, Luke's got to get back in for this one. We have Luana Santos versus Maria Agapova. Luke, are you oh, he's not even here. I was looking at the screen. Alex, you got any hot takes on this one?
Oh, I got a take. Fucking Agapova sucks. She's gonna get submitted in round 2. I don't want her on the podcast, so I hope she loses. And
you better hope she doesn't come on now.
Why? What is she gonna do? Wish the devil on me? That devil worshiper? I don't fuck with that shit. I'm Alpha Chad. I do everything by the book. I'm like Yuri Prohashka. I'm like Alex Pereira. I go to shamans, but I also do the sign of the cross. I'm kind of I'm like a Peyton Talbot type. I'm perks of being a wallflower. You never know what you're gonna get with me. But I know what I'm gonna get in this fight, and I think it's Luana Santos submission, 2nd round. Agapova gasses. We loved her in those first couple fights because she was so brutal, but then we saw her lose to Shanna. What was that girl's name? Shanna Dobson. We haven't seen that woman fight in 10 years. Okay. So what are we doing? What are we doing with Maria Agapova? We're not having her on the podcast. We're not letting Luke spend the Patreon money on a fucking appearance of a Maria Agapova. Doesn't even know how to speak no damn English. Get Luana Santos, submission win, 2nd round, so I don't got to deal with this shit.
Okay. Did I miss one? Or are we doing Luana Santos, Maria Agapova?
Yeah.
Yep, you're up.
24 versus 27, back-to-back losses for Maria Agapova, back-to-back submissions against a Brazilian who has a submission via triangle, a guillotine, submission in her career. Her only loss is split decision against Shannon Bishop in LFA 2 years ago. They're gonna have similar height and reach attributes. I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I love Maria Agapova. I think she's a demon slayer. 5 wins by submission, 3 wins by knockout. Maria's going to be a slight underdog here. Jillian Robertson, she's good at jiu-jitsu. She made it 2 rounds with her. Marina Moroz, she's good too. And you know what? They hung out. They trained together. Like Marina Moroz knew she could do that to her. Shayna Dobson, she gassed there. The biggest upset in UFC history. But the fight that brought us all to beautiful Maria was Hannah Cifers when she rear naked choked her in round 1. She did all those cool movements, But then she started doing a little dancing with the devil. How did she lose? Oh, okay. It says Karate Combat 46 lost via heel hook. I'm like, you get heel hooked in Karate Combat? Luana Santos, it feels like she could submit Maria Agapova here. That's how it feels to me. I'm going to take Luana Santos. But I want Maria. I love Maria Agapova.
I hear you. What it comes down to me, Luana Santos, last fight was at bantamweight. All right, so a weight class up from where this fight is going to take place. I think Agapova is like kind of a small flyweight. She seems very, very sinewy, very wishy-washy, kind of easy to take down here. And Luana Santos, again, at bantamweight against Stephanie Agar, who's not a great overall fighter, but a pretty good grappler in her own right.
Mans Radar.
She took her down twice and held her down for like 2.5 minutes in both those rounds. And, put up a good amount of ground and pound and significant strikes in the process. So I think if she could do that against the larger Mans Radar, Stephanie Agar, I think she could definitely get it done in her 3rd fight in the UFC here against Agapova. So I think this is bring Luana Santos to the spotlight here fight, because Agapova still has a little bit of shine on her. The UFC gave her a bunch of promos and stuff, so I think she's still got a little bit of that on her, and that will be used to propel Santos forward into the spotlight here. So,
well, Santos. If you look at the reports, though, there is a lot of like Marina Moroz and like all these people that train in Coconut Creek. They were all saying like Maria Agapova has a lot of drama attached to her. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, well, that doesn't bode well for her.
So it doesn't bode well. And people talk, they say you could telegraph, telephone, or tell a fighter. Story's going to get out.
Yeah.
All right. Vivian Araujo versus Jasmine Judavicius. Jasmine Judavicius, interesting lady, interesting lass. She's not who I think she is.
And she is not. And she is not Jennifer Maya, and that's why she's going to lose this fight.
Wait, I was thinking that she is Vanessa Demopoulos. I mix them up all the time.
It's okay. I was just giving my pick. I was just doing a perfect like segue off of what you said. I know who she is, and I know she's not Jennifer Maya, who's one of the greatest women to ever grace the octagon. And Vivi Arujau beat Jennifer Maya, and I don't see her losing to anybody outside of the top 5, top 10. So Jazzy J isn't making her way back in there against Vivi, if you ask me. So I'm going with Arujau.
I'm going with Jazzy because she's younger by only 2 years, but the high, it's exponential. The closer you get over to the closer you get to 40, it's exponential every year. So it might be 2 years separating these girls, but it might as well be 7 years separating them. So I'm gonna go with Jasmine. We won't be breaking down lady fights in the future, so this is a fight I won't have too much investment in, but I do like Jasmine to get the win here. I think that her path to victory is via control, and Arujau's path to victory is limited by her ability to close the distance and get takedowns. I think Jazzy will get the takedowns and will get control positions and will win rounds.
I'm gonna go with DJ Jazzy Jeff over Aunt Viv. I think, like you said, we're going to see a lot of takedowns coming. This seems to be a real moment here for Jasmine Jazz-Devicious. She seems to be really hitting her stride. Whereas, Aunt Viv, definitely on her way out. Born in 1986. You do the math. She's an old lady. She doesn't throw a lot of volume for my liking. She's got some power, but Jasmine is a tough Canadian gal. I think she'll be able to take it with a smile on her face, keep moving forward, and put the pressure on her. Not crazy about this fight. I'll probably go with the over more than anything. It'll probably be steamed to like -360, but it'll be a solid parlay piece. No one's finishing anybody in this fight, so I'm going to take the easy money and try to not sweat this one out by picking a side. But if I must, DJ Jazzy Jeff.
This next fight,
and Viv had DJ Jazzy Jeff getting thrown out by his boxers every single time he entered the house. So I don't know how you can even go with that when you make that comparison.
This is true. I did think of that. Uncle Phil was on the ball. He was throwing that boy out.
Man, Lucas, I'm a sleepy boy tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I keep yawning. I'm so sleepy.
Well, good thing we only got one fight left after this one.
So are we adding fights to this card? What's going on? We can't have an actual 8-fight card.
Can I confess something to you guys real quick? I did jiu-jitsu today, okay? And I think I came to the realization that I don't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore.
Yeah, it sucks. Don't do it anymore.
Because I was thinking, you got to deal with smelly men, right? Like, if I had some cute ladies that smelled nice and, their breath didn't stink and they were, my weight and my size and more comfortable to flow with and stuff, that'd be one thing. But you got these men with their beards and you're touching them and then, I got to worry about their cleanliness. It's like, this guy, did he wash his hands this morning? You know what I mean? He's got his hands in my face. I don't want to get touched by people strangers and stuff that I don't know unless I'm fighting them. You know what I mean? And I also hate that, you go to jiu-jitsu and, you don't get to do everything. You know what I mean? You don't get to do it all. And my thinking is no one's taking me down to the mat. So if I'm better than them at jiu-jitsu, I'll take them to the mat, right? And I'll submit them easy peasy. If I even have to worry, if they've even ever done jiu-jitsu, I'm not going to even fuck around with that shit. I'm just going to knock them out. You know? So I'm I got to tailor it to my strengths and to my enjoyment level. I think I'm going to do kickboxing. I think it's kickboxing. Alex Pereira, he probably made more people sign up for kickboxing last weekend than ever, But, yeah, I mean, I'm going kickboxing. I'm going to start kickboxing. I'm going to start kickboxing because I don't want to wrestle around with guys on the mat anymore. I don't want to do this. This guy got me in a heel hook today, right? We're flow rolling. So he didn't finish it, but he didn't get me in it either. We're letting each other do stuff, right? We flow. Gets me in a heel hook. And I just went like this. I pretended I was just joking. I went, bang. I was like, that's my heel hook defense. I didn't even have. I just was like, I'm like, you heel hook me again. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not fucking around. You touch my legs, it's on. I'm coming. I'm getting a bazooka. You know what I mean?
But Luke, that's me. That's why you gotta have a concealed carry, so you can be like the baby. I be shooting. I don't like to fight. You know, like we don't fight people anymore. We don't fight people around here anymore.
So I'm done with you. I think I'm gonna quit. Forever.
Go to a gun range. Go to a gun range.
I want to do jiu-jitsu with like you. You know what I mean? Like I want to do jiu-jitsu with people I trust, people I know, people like I don't want to do jiu-jitsu with strangers anymore.
But I can't trust you. Every time we start doing jiu-jitsu, I go in a turtle shell and you start punching me in the back of the head, and I don't know what to do anymore.
It's combat jiu-jitsu.
At least open hand slap me then.
All right, we got one more fight to break down here. And you wanted to mention Khabib. We can talk about that too. But I think until all the evidence comes forward, until we kind of know what's what, maybe we mum's the word there. But I'm going to go with Andre Petroski here, and it's not. The reason I'm going with Andre Petroski is pretty simple. The guys he's lost to are really good, and the guys he's beaten are not so good. But the guys that Friend has lost to, some of them are really good. Roman Kopylov, Anthony Hernandez, both really good. But the guys he's beaten aren't as good. Like, I would say Wellington Turman, Nick Maximoff, greater than Cedricus Dumas, Jamie Pickett. Would you agree? Gerald Morshark.
Short notice against
Turman,
Roman Kopylov. He was short notice against Roman Kopylov.
What?
He was short notice against Roman Kopylov.
Fair enough. And you know what? That short notice against Roman Kopylov 9 months ago, and he got KO'd by a liver shot. So didn't take too many hits to the head. Meanwhile, you got over that same stretch of time since he has taken off from the liver shot KO, Petroski has been in there twice and got knocked out both times. Malkoun gets knocked out.
Short notice against Hernandez too. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it's all good. Who?
Josh Fremd was short notice against Hernandez as well.
I think that's enough actually to sway me. What you just said right there is enough to sway me. See, and this is why Cody Brundage, I hate you, because Cody Brundage, you should have been able to guillotine Cedricus Dumas like Josh Fremd did. I see you guys as similar style fighters, but you didn't. So bad for you to not do that. All right. I'm settling in. Fremd's going to be faster. Fremd's going to be longer. Fremd's going to be taller. Fremd's going to stay on the outside. Petroski's going to fade. He's not going to be there in the third round. He's not going to be there in the late second round. Fremd's going to weather the early storm. He's going to be competent enough on the ground to not get grappled with Petroski. I'm going Josh Fremd.
Yes, 100% Josh Fremd for me as well. TKO. Petroski's a certified gasser, a certified quitter. So much of a quitter that, Luke, it's funny. Andre Petroski saw me face to face. He said, I will definitely come on your podcast. I'm super afraid of you. And then I hit him up again about the podcast. Crickets. Okay, so what? Keyboard warrior. You got so scared in front of my face that you said you'd join my podcast, but when I reach out, now you can say no to me. It's because I really do dwarf a lot of these guys. Like, it's crazy how big I am. I am half the size of the MMA guru, and that's still double the size of most of these men, which is crazy.
It lists Petroski as 6 foot. You think he's 6 foot?
There's no way, dude. And neither is my dad. My dad says he's 6 foot all the time. He is not. Okay. And I hope you're watching right now because you are not 6 foot.
Oh, I know you hope your dad's watching. He's not, though. Don't worry.
He's not. He doesn't love me.
Oh, that's so sad. So sad. So sad, Dan. It's okay. You'll get his attention one day. All right. So Renzo Gracie Philly is respectful, but 2 knockout losses in the last 8 months is too dangerous for me. Now we know where this guy Andre Petroski is from. He's from Pennsylvania. He's Philly. Listen, Andre Petroski is the type of guy to not need the brain cells that those knockouts took away. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Like, he is probably going to be fine coming in off back-to-back knockouts over the last 8 months.
I mean, no, because he has a job painting. If all else fails, he has a job painting in South Philly. Okay, don't worry about Andre Petroski. He's not one of these fighters that can't find a job. Okay, he's going to start painting houses.
Yep. So I'm going with Josh Fremd, but I could see Petroski just coming in there, nothing to lose, and just knocking him out in the first round. But if Fremd can get it to round 2, he wins this fight.
Yeah, I like me some Petroski here, fellas. Can't triple P certify. Not liking what I see out of Fremd.
Can I say this though, Dan? Hold on, real quick. That knockout was weird. Like, and it almost makes you think, yeah, he came back way too soon after the Pereira knockout. 4 months later, he comes back in after getting knocked out. The guy's hip hits his head, and he fucking goes out. I've seen what happens when people get a lot of concussions. They get the next one easier. It's easier and easier, especially if you don't let your brain rest. And I'll bet he didn't even let the brain rest at all. I mean, it's 2 months ago he got knocked out. Those 2 months, it's not like he was like, all right, I'll just do an intensive dark room therapy where I'm sitting in a dark room for 2 months and he's resting my brain. He
needed it more than Yuri Prohashka did.
He didn't even do 3 days like Yuri did. He's got kids. He's got a wife. And you know how these Philly women are, Dan. You know how these Pennsylvania women are. They're battle axes. They're battle axes. They don't give you a moment's rest. They don't give you any reprieve. They're like, come help me.
What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately?
That's a Philly woman for you.
Yeah, I hear you on that front, but I don't know if Josh Fremd is the knockout artist here. He seems to be more in the Petroski camp, looking for the takedowns and the submission attempts. I'm not liking what I see from Fremd getting taken down by Trayshawn Gore multiple times and then getting submitted. I don't like him getting taken down by Jamie Pickett multiple times. These are things that are not good. These are big-time red flags for me. So, yes, the knockouts and, the Anthony Hernandez fight, last minute, whatever. Willing to give that a pass. Submitted by Trayshawn Gore, no pass. Taken down by Jamie Pickett in a win, but a win where he didn't finish him, and he landed like 20 strikes against Jamie Pickett where he got taken down multiple times. Huge red flag. So I'm going to have to go with Petroski here. Obviously, any Petroski fight is risky business. And I definitely hear what you're saying with the last fight, the weird knee that it's like a ghost knee. It barely landed, and he's knocked out. I get all that. But can't rely on Josh Fremd to get the job done, especially if it comes to striking. So I'll go with Petroski, and I'm liking Petroski here.
I'm going to go with Petroski as well, Dan, because at the end of the day, you're right. And I talked myself into it with saying that, like, he's the type of guy to not let those knockouts really affect him that much. And the thing is, here's the nail in the coffin, though. His gym's better. You look at the gym that Fremd trains at, he's in Pennsylvania, too. But he's training with a bunch of amateurs and no-name guys, Whereas Petroski's in there with Pfeiffer. He's in there with Brady. He's in there with, good guys. Wells. Sabatini.
Dawkins Bros.
The Dawkins Bros? No, they're Martinez BJJ. They're not.
Whatever. I'm sure they cross-train.
John Webb.
Definitely do.
Or whatever. I'm more of a Hassett's guy, but if Hassett doesn't get in Joe Selecki's ear and tell him it's it's position over submission in that order. I need. Can you call Hassett and tell him call Joe?
Hit him up.
I can't be the one to say it.
I don't know. I might be.
I only got 3 stripes on my blue belt. I'm not able to tell Joe Selecki what to do. But like you said last week, I gave myself my purple belt, so that lets me be able to actually teach class. So class is in session, Joe. Position then submission. Okay, because Grant Dawson shouldn't have better BJJ than you, but he dominated you on the ground because you let him. Sorry, I'm getting mad at Joe Selecki for no reason. He's catching strays.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Thanks to Joe, I got to pay Maria Agapova $500 fucking dollars. And
Maria Agapova should pay us to have her on the show, and that's my opinion. I don't do interviews. I don't do interviews anymore. Okay, we are not an interview show. We are a pick show and not a lady fight show. So what are we going to interview a lady fighter for? Tell me that.
I'm a bit of a Drake type, come and rescue me. Like I was trying to rescue her.
Big pause, certified lover boy.
Little mouth on him. Bing, 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 bing.
So, listen, I'm going with Maria Magapova. Oh no, Petrosky. But it's silly that he's doing this. You shouldn't get back in there this quick if it.
Hell yeah! Well, here's my picks, top to bottom or bottom to top. I'm going Fremd TKO, a Rujal decision, Santos submission second round, C-Rod.
I gotta be able to copy these down, so just take a pause for a second.
Okay. Pause.
I wasn't ready for you to just start rattling them off like that. So we just got a little 8-fight snack size offering for you guys. If a lot changes, like if one of these 8 fights change and they add 4 more and we got 5 new ones to break down, all right, we'll come back next Monday for another episode. If not much has changed and the fights they add or we don't care about, I hope they just keep 8.
Luke, is this 8. Not in the Apex, this card?
It's in the Ball Arena.
In Colorado.
Ball makes mason jars.
In Denver.
That's where the Nuggets play?
I don't think so.
I'm unaware.
Okay.
They make like
it used to be called the Pepsi Center. I think. But it might be a different name now. But that's where the Nuggets play. Anyway, can I go through the rest of my picks?
Yeah.
Frem, TKO, Araujo, decision, Santos, submission, second round. C-Rod by that dog in him, decision. Maybe even finish second or third round. Al-Hassan, TKO, Bonfim, TKO, Salikov, decision, and Tracy Cortez, decision.
Bonfim by TKO?
Bonfim by TKO, Al-Hassan by TKO. I think that's the exact same fight, different. Same, but different.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Tracy Cortez, Santiago Ponzinibbio. Who did I pick? Bonfim or Angalusa?
You picked Lusa. I think you were.
Yeah. All right. Cortez, Ponzinibbio, Lusa, Brundage, Arosa, Santos, JJ, Jasmine Judavicius, and Fremd. No, Petrosky. I don't fucking know shit about this card, to be honest with you guys. I
don't watch tape, and I don't know shit.
Yeah, I don't know fucking shit about what's going on here. I guess my most confident pick.
I mean, clearly, I have like $1,000 more dollars than you.
Brundage, when Cody Brundage is your most confident pick, that's saying a lot.
That's terrible.
But I'm feeling pretty sick right now. So
I think Tracy Cortez is my most confident pick. This is ladies' night. We got to go with the ladies tonight. Like you picked the worst time to announce that we're done with ladies' fights.
Dan,
yep. We're gonna go with Tracy Cortez, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Gabriel Bonfim, ? Cody Brundage, ! Christian Rodriguez, Luana Santos, Jasmine Jazz Juvicius, and Andre Petrosky.
Period.
Dot.
Ellipses. That's what that's called.
Did you go with Jasmine?
Yes.
All right, and Petrosky. That rounds it all out. There's only going to be one Trophy certified pick on this card so far, and that is going to be 2, both the lady fights, Santos and Cortez. They're the ones I'm really short about.
I guess I'm on an island.
Back in the card. We need some more meat on this card. I need something to watch on my Saturdays. Jeez.
Dan, did you take Alex Pereira last week?
No.
Oh, so Bobby on an island by himself, most fights this weekend. And he was on an island by himself in the biggest fight of the whole year. What the Sigma? International Fight Week. Bobby's the only one on an island by himself.
You picked 40-year-old Muslim Salikov. Get off your high horse. You're not going to win money this week.
Yeah, whatever, dude. You'll see. You'll see.
Better hedge out during the co-main.
I'm not going under 1,000 again. That's it, and that's all.
All right.
Yeah, me neither. I'm gonna get up to over 1,000 this weekend and stay there.
Yeah, you're never going to be above 1,000 again. You are literally so stupid. You are going to bet all of your money that you have left on this card. And see, I did that on a numbered card, Luke, but you're going to do that on a fight night because you're a gambling addict.
And at least there's gonna be an audience, not the Apex. So
yeah, true. You're right,
Yeah.
Dan.
All right. Well, maybe I'll bet it all on Nate Diaz. That won't count, right? All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for doing the show, everybody. Let us know what you think in the Discord. Let us know what you think in the Patreon. Sorry. Let us know what you think in the Patreon. Let us know what you think in the Discord. And get in there for the Patreon full year, please. Patreon.com/PerfectPlayPursuit. That's where you get the open bet sheet. That's where you can see what we're betting each week. Alex posted a winning parlay in there last weekend for you. Doledeze Lopez Piera. Big winner, Alex time. And if you're with me, you got Piper Doledeze Lopez, 290 for 650. So those bets were placed in the open bet sheet. Get in there this week. Thanks so much.
You won 650 and you still ended up losing money? That's crazy.
I kept betting. Anyway, listen, we love you guys. No UFC this weekend. Watch Diaz versus Masvidal if you can. Enjoy your 4th of July. Enjoy the holiday. 70 million people are going to be traveling this 4th of July. I don't advise you travel. I think it's a stay home. I think it's a movie marathon weekend. I think it's a don't go to the beach, don't go anywhere, just stay home. No fireworks, no nothing. You just stay home. You stay in that air condition. You read a book, you watch the movie, you cuddle up with your loved ones. You don't need to be one of them 70 million sheeple. Okay, don't do that. No fireworks, no beaches. That's a Triple P order. Any final words about the holiday, boys?
I'm going to the beach on the 5th and the 6th. So I will be beach boy. I don't
know what I'm doing. Don't know what I'm doing, but 4th of July is my favorite holiday. Let's rock and roll. Let's do it.
It was my favorite holiday too. And it will one day the flame will be lit, but I'm not celebrating with I'm not until Trump gets back in office. So
No, that's the wrong attitude to have.
We're approaching 250 years.
It's like an upside down flag at half mast. I'm protesting.
we're 2 years from 250 years.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one.
Oh yeah,
that'll be a good one.
Party in the USA. Thank you, everybody. We love you. Mwah. Enjoy your holiday. Get in that Patreon.